Hi everyone, Professor Henry here with some general comments on your work for Project 1 so far. Overall, I'd say I'm pretty happy with the work that everyone has produced. Here are a couple of things that I think are generally working well in your essays so far, along with a couple of things where I see some opportunities for further development. So to start, many of you are writing about specific past experiences with literacy, including interesting details about moments that shaped your view of what literacy is and why literacy has become important to you. That's great. Keep all of that. Many of you are citing great examples directly from the textbook, and some of you are choosing to respond to what I've said in my videos on academic literacy. If you haven't watched them yet, you can check them out right up there. Moreover, I think the strongest essays at present reveal how conscious their authors are of their own reading and writing processes. They overview what they know does and doesn't work for them, with themes like, I tend to ramble on in my paragraphs, which I know can be confusing for my audience, but I've learned that outlining my points before writing paragraphs helps me stay focused on the point that I'm trying to make. I now see that as even more important with the idea of writing as an ongoing conversation because ... Right? That kind of theme is what I'm talking about. I think you get the idea. That's good stuff right there. That's the kind of writing that I think is going to work really well in this essay. Meanwhile, here are some common issues that are coming up in your writing that I want to encourage everyone to pay attention to and make some adjustments before you submit this work as part of the midterm portfolio or final portfolio. The first issue I'd like to call your attention to isn't so much of a writing issue as it is a behavior issue. Although this behavior issue is a writing issue, so whatever, 6 or a half dozen to the other. Anyway, many of you were confused about what the writing prompt was asking you to do, and some of you waited too long to ask for help, even as late as a few hours before the draft was due. You should avoid that behavior for a variety of reasons. On the one hand, in this online learning format, it's easy to forget that we have lives outside of our courses, including your professors. It's just not feasible or reasonable to expect your professors to be checking their emails and answering questions at, say, 7 p.m. just because an assignment is due that evening. Instead, you should look for when your professors have made themselves available to you through office hours, or what I refer to as open collaboration hours. For example, I've posted on the course syllabus and on Canvas the times when I'm available to work with you one-on-one and when I promise to read and respond to emails. It's your responsibility to schedule your work with those timelines in mind so that you can get answers to questions in a reasonable amount of time. But you have to get started on your work first, otherwise you won't know what questions you even have. Okay, so it turns out that was feedback to help everyone become even better students, but it's feedback that's definitely related to this essay. Next, I want everyone to consider the central theme or point of your essay. In most academic writing genres, we call this a thesis. It's the thing that both you and your audience agree that your essay is about. And it's the thing that holds the whole thing together. Every paragraph should be in the service of developing that thesis. And each paragraph should focus on developing a single aspect of the thesis. Presently, many of your papers have what I'd characterize as an implied thesis or a weak thesis, if there's even a thesis at all. Now, I don't mean to sound harsh. I offer this non-judgmentally. It's just an observation and an area I'm inviting many of you to grow. So try to communicate to your audience early on in your writing the question that's motivated you to write and what your tentative or definitive answer to that question is. Doing that will help your thesis take shape. Finally, remember that this is a personal narrative that should draw from your own personal experience. But don't limit yourself to simply comparing and contrasting between your past and present experiences. Comparing and contrasting is fine, but try to go beyond that. Maybe make some predictions for the future as to how or why academic literacy will be helpful for your own aspirations. Or you might focus on a time when you felt held back by literacy in some way, yet today you're rising to the challenge of becoming more literate. Now remember that writing is a process. And in this class, the expectation is never that your writing should be perfect and error-free. This is a process of trying stuff out, getting feedback, and growing. With that, happy revising, editing, and proofreading.